You know, we're all taught that reality works in a straight line, right? There's a past we leave behind, a present we're in, and a future we're racing towards. But what if I told you that entire model might be wrong? What if the structure of existence isn't a line at all, but a loop? Today, we're diving into a really profound idea from the Quran that suggests time itself is this beautiful, repeating pattern, a kind of cosmic Möbius loop. So our whole journey today, it really starts with this promise. The Quran says it guides us to what is most upright, or you could say most straight. But here's the incredible twist. What if straight doesn't mean a one-way road? What if it means a perfectly balanced cyclical system? This one verse, it's like the key to unlocking a completely different map of reality. I mean, this is the picture we all have in our heads. Time is a road. It has a clear beginning, a middle, and an end. We're born, we live, we die. History marches forward, never looking back. It's a simple, pretty intuitive model, and honestly, it governs almost everything about how we think and live. And this is the question that just flips the whole script. What if the universe doesn't operate like some one-way street, but more like a grand looping circuit? What if the past, present, and future aren't these separate places you visit, but just points on one continuous, deeply interconnected surface? Okay, now this is where it gets really fascinating. The Quran doesn't just say the day follows the night. The specific Arabic word it uses here is yukawiru, which means to wrap or to coil one thing around another, almost like you'd wind a turban. Now think about that. That is not the language of a straight line. That is the language of spheres, of cycles, and of a reality that seamlessly folds back onto itself. So this brings us to the perfect visual for this whole idea, the Möbius loop. It's this amazing shape with a little twist in it. If you were to trace its surface with your finger, you'd end up right back where you started, but you'd have covered both the inside and the outside without ever lifting your finger. Why? Because there's only one continuous side. It's the perfect illustration of a process that's both cyclical, it repeats, but also progressive. It keeps moving. And according to this Quranic framework, this single continuous loop of reality, it's actually woven from three distinct but totally inseparable foundational strips. They're not fighting each other. They are the very threads that make up the fabric of our existence. All right, so what are these three building blocks? Let's break down the fundamental forces that are apparently driving this entire cosmic cycle. First up, we've got the clay strip, which is really the stuff of our human experience. Interacting with that, you have the smoke strip, or light. This is the force of divine revelation. And then, acting as a kind of catalyst for the whole thing, is the fire strip, the ultimate test of authority and pride. The key is these three aren't separate, they're woven together. Let's take a closer look at each one. First, there's the clay strip. This is us. This is our world, our physical reality. It starts with Adam, right? Created from clay. And its core characteristic, its fundamental nature, is to forget. Just think about it for a second. We get so wrapped up in our daily lives that we forget where we came from, what our purpose is. And this isn't seen as a flaw. It's the very nature of the human dimension. It's the starting point for our test here on Earth. Now, woven into that forgetful clay is the smoke or light strip. Its whole purpose is to cut through that fog of forgetfulness. Its very nature is to ascend and illuminate, constantly reminding us of what we've lost track of. And this isn't just an abstract idea. The model points to real-world examples, like the Quran itself, which is described as a pure light, or the birth of Isa, a word from God made manifest. This is the force that pulls the entire spiral upward. And finally, there's the fire strip. And we're not talking about literal fire here. It's about the heat of being tested. Its purpose is to challenge, to filter. It's constantly asking the question, are you going to submit to a higher truth or to your own pride? This is the test we see embodied by figures like Iblis, whose arrogance led to his fall, and Pharaoh, who went so far as to declare himself a god. This friction, this challenge, is the very engine that drives the whole cycle forward. Okay, so we've got clay, light, and fire. But here's the absolute crucial point. They don't operate independently. Not at all. They are locked in this dynamic, cosmic dance, a feedback loop that literally defines our reality. Let's see how it all fits together. And right here, you can see the engine of the loop in action. It all kicks off with clay, which by its nature forgets its purpose. Think of Adam's initial slip. This forgetfulness creates an opening for fire, a test of pride, like the arrogance of Pharaoh, which in turn calls for light to ascend, a revelation like the Quran to offer us a path back. Forgetting, testing, remembering. It's a perfect, continuous, self-correcting cycle. And this is a really huge shift in perspective. It's so easy to see the fire, our struggles, our tests, as something purely negative. But in this model, it's an essential part of the system. The challenge is what purifies the clay. The test is what makes our choice to remember truly meaningful. It's all part of one single unified divine process designed to guide everything back to where it started. You know, the Quran itself seems to hint directly at this cyclical reality with verses just like this one. It's asking such a profound question. You've already known the first creation. It's like it's saying, hey, you've been through this before. The pattern is known. The truth is already imprinted on your soul. The challenge isn't learning something brand new, but remembering what you, deep down, already know. So what does this massive cosmic model mean for you and me, right here, right now? How do we find our own place on this looping, spiraling map of time? Well, this perspective changes everything. Life isn't a race to some finish line. It's more like a spiral staircase. We're constantly revisiting the same core themes, the forgetfulness of our clay, the tests of our pride and ego, and the opportunity to connect with the light of remembrance. Every single day, every choice we make is just another turn in the spiral, another chance to ascend. And so that leaves us with one final, really provocative question. If existence is this continuous loop of forgetting, being tested, and then remembering, where are you on that loop right now? Are you lost in the fog of the clay's forgetfulness? Are you feeling the heat of a test by fire? Or are you turning towards the light, ready to remember and to ascend? Because in this model, that answer, it defines everything.